What's good, boys and everybody? How we doing? Welcome.
Third stream of the day, boys.
This is in
Third stream
fact the
of the
third
day.
stream of the day, which is crazy when we think about it. And obviously, we are not in my room anymore. We've been transported to the silly world known as Pokemon. Let us know. We have a very weird setup from my PC to the green screen far away. Very unique. Haven't done something like this. So if the audio's fucked up, let us know. We can make it louder or quieter. I can move it. McSnugs, if you want to test your voice, just to make sure. I think we're good, but just to make sure, so that way we're not.
Yeah, guys, if you could just let us know if both of us are coming in sounding about the same, okay? Volume-wise, and make sure that there's no echoes for y'all.
They said the audio's fine. Neat.
All right, cool.
First off, I want to welcome everybody in and give a thank you for participating in this for as long as you stay. If you just have some questions you want to leave, it's a very free-flowing experience. Hello to Rylan, Almos, Luis, Deciduguy, Pear, Rylan again. Who else is in here? Shisui, Snagging Cats, Monkey, Billy, Clayton. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Welcome, guys. Thank you guys for being fans of the series, right?
Yeah, it's
It's been a lot of work, a lot of time going into it, a lot of recording. Some funny recordings that you guys don't get to see.
Not yet, anyway.
And yeah.
We are assembling a blooper reel, but no, it's quite surreal that we're like kind of finishing up the first movie that we've ever made in a way, and it's weird to call it that. I think it's weird to like think about it and say like we made a movie.
Yeah.
But all things considered, when it's done, it's gonna be around what 40 minutes, maybe more at this point. Probably 50 even.
So we're probably around 25 to 30 minutes through like what 21 episodes.
21 episodes, yeah.
Just so you guys know, there's projected to be 30 episodes. So there's one that comes out next week, and then there's 8 more following that one. So lots more to come. We are not quite at the end of the series, although you guys have been commenting like
2 more episodes.
End of the series. We're not there yet, right?
No.
There's gonna be some heat coming up. We got big things in motion, and we're just gonna try to do the series justice. Is really what it is. So I don't know about you, but are you ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's just field some questions that people have real quick.
Yep.
I see. How does it feel now that your quote, "I'm going to beat the Elite Four," is true? Well, it's not true yet.
No.
Okay? So I have no comment at this point. Rylan and Deciduguy both have questions, so if you guys want to field those real quick, I'll answer those two, and we'll move on to go ahead and start talking about some, discussion points that we've already.
Yeah. So we have like a basic structure of like topics we want to get through, and outside of that, any question we're gonna field. There's only one question we're going to put to the very end, which is, will Bugcatcher Rick go to all the regions? That question will be answered at the very end.
Rylan just asked that question. Rylan, I'm sorry. We'll get to it. We have a reason behind that. Deciduguy, if you want to ask now, you're more than welcome to. If I don't see it in a second, we're just going to kick some things off. I have a question, Unk. What the fuck do you want? Anyways, all right.
All right, boys. So, hello everyone, I am McSnugs, and today I am here with Bugcatcher Rick. We're going to take you behind the scenes of the series and answer your questions and go through some of the things that you might have missed or highlight things we think were fun. Bugcatcher Rick, first question.
That is me.
How were you created?
How was I created? It's not that deep of a story, truly, but it is a funny one.
Mm-hmm.
And it really just came out of there's an episode
In the anime, right?
in the anime of Ash fighting another trainer. He had a Pinsir, but then the Pinsir couldn't break the Metapod's harden. So then the guy just says fuck it and pulls out his own Metapod, and they have a hard off. And that's the episode. They just have a hard off.
They're just doing harden on repeat.
And to me, I think that's really funny. And so then it came down to like, if we were to make a story, what is the loser character that could succeed? And it's obviously the bug catcher in Pokemon. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, Gen 1, easy. So why don't we make a story about a bug catcher? And at first, we didn't really have a plan for it to go to the end. We legitimately didn't. I think I sent you a message or whatever.
Not at the very start. I think that came in a little bit with the scripting. Like, we needed to write a hook, right? But we weren't sure if it was going to turn into a full-on series in the way that it is, where he's actually going to the Elite Four.
Yeah.
In the way that we have done it. So initially, it wasn't that flushed out.
But the first episode blew up. That shit went hard, literally. So we're like, oh my god, now we need to plan it. And I told him, he was like, Snugs asked me like, oh, how many episodes do you think it would be? He's not like a Pokemon guy.
Yep.
I grew up with Pokemon. He really didn't. So he didn't exactly have a way to think like, okay, if we actually do the Elite Four, how many episodes? And I was like 12. One episode per gym, and then 4 Elite Four, maybe 13 for the champion. And bro was like, "All right, that sounds good. I think we can handle a weekly series for 12 weeks." And now it's like
it's gonna be over double that.
7 months later.
And I think the funniest thing to this is like, I think the first 5 gyms were relatively quick, and some of the other ones were pretty quick too.
Yeah.
The fire gym, there's about 5 episodes that it takes to get to the fire gym, to fight the fire gym, and then beat the fire gym. So the fire gym essentially like has currently a quarter of like the series, I would say, right?
Yeah.
As far as like traveling to it, obviously he fights Axel at one point there, but
I mean that makes sense. It's the toughest battle.
It does, and I think it really helped us flush out like some of the characters, as well as like just do different funny stuff, highlight things in the Pokemon games that we thought were funny.
We have a comment. Yona Saunders asks, so Dragon Tamer next? No. No, because like the thing about Rick and why we wanted to create him is that it is a classic like scrub to hero, zero to hero story. And that's way more compelling. Most of the time, it's a lot easier to write a compelling story, zero to hero, than it is to have a power fantasy. Yeah. Hey, my first Pokemon was fucking Salamence. You're like, brother, what?
Yeah, because it's kind of like, where do we go from here?
Solo leveling.
We're already like so high up, right?
I got solo leveling fucking Pokemon.
But I will say, we do have some other Pokemon series in the works. We might touch on it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But nothing like straight up like there's gonna be another trainer like fighting his way through the world, at least not as of yet. Maybe in the future, but we do have some spin-off series in the Bugcatcher Rick world, so I think that will be something exciting for you guys to look forward to.
Can we still ask questions? Yes.
Yeah.
Pyro guys, just pop your question in the chat and I'll answer. You don't have to. You can ask whenever you want. Check the comment on the stream before stand-up comedy.
We'll do that later, man.
We're a little busy right now. Are you gonna get holiday specials? That is a really good idea, and we haven't even thought about that.
I don't even know what that is. Oh, hobby.
Yes, you do. You know, like One Piece, they'll do like a holiday One Piece.
Oh
like,
yeah,
like
we
filler
could do that.
It's like Christmas on the thousand.
It's Bug Christmas, guys. Bug Halloween.
Yeah, it's just a holiday special. That's a great idea, actually. Okay. Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and lock it in that we will make a Bugcatcher Rick holiday special.
Just for that brilliant comment, we will make the special.
That's a really good.
It might not be as long as a traditional episode, but it will be something, and it should be funny.
Would I make a spin-off of Swimmer Axel's journey? No, we're not gonna do, at least anytime. We have no plans to do a full spin-off. We might have one-offs. Like I said, we have an adjacent storyline that we have plans for a couple episodes here and there as we pivot to another thing, right? So maybe Axel and Rick can happen to have parts within that, but we're not gonna spoil anything. But the answer is no. We're not doing a Axel spin-off. And I don't want to be shirtless for 30 hours of footage.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely part of it. It's just like the swimming cap. Dude, the swimming cap is tight, guys. Anytime he films, he complains about filming with that thing. Because, like, he's just standing up here, green screening himself with that swimming cap on. And he's just hurting his head the entire time. So I don't blame him. But like he said, yeah, maybe we'll see 1 or 2 things come out. Just, like, randomly. They're not going to be necessarily, like, coming out immediately. But we might just be like, hey, you know what? I have an idea for Swimmer Axel one day. And we'll go and make it, you know? So
I'm going to rapid fire a couple questions.
Yep.
How do you feel about fires? I hate fires, clearly. And Johto has powerful bug types. Every region, I think, has better bug types, but mine are the hardest, so that's how I feel. Why is your message purple? I don't fucking know. If Rick met Arceus with his bug plate, would he catch it? I mean, yeah, no.
Is Arceus bug type?
Technically, the bug plate changes his typing if he's holding it. But he's not a bug type, so no. No, unfortunately, no. Manta, I'm going to answer yours at last because it's the last one. Will Rick beat the champion? No spoilers. Does Rick like jazz? Yes, he does. How many Weedles has Rick killed? Do you want to answer that one?
I think we have officially shown. This is one of the Easter eggs. There are some shots where we show the gym badges on the Game Boy that he's holding. He hasn't necessarily killed all these Weedles, but I believe the higher number of Weedles, or like the Pokemon caught segment, says like 2 million bugs caught, mainly Weedles, right? So there's an Easter egg for that. Not all of them are killed. Obviously, the biggest use of Weedles was the Weedle Raft, Weedle Bridge, and just like when he was trying to get to the fire gym.
I have to answer the question from Manta about, do we have any narrative and visions for specific parts of the story? Sort of like the fire gym being the struggle, similar to Luffy versus Katakuri. I would say that a lot of the way that the Bugcatcher Rick story has been written is like a draft out of what should happen in the episode based off of the actual canon timeline of the series, as in like the Kanto playthrough, right? It's all based loosely on that structure. So I will provide that aspect in whatever comedy I can think of. Snugs provides the additional like outside of the box fucking nonsense.
Yep.
Because he doesn't really know the Kanto story. So
yeah,
we kind of like
that in Pokemon in general.
We flush each other out. Like I provide all of the stats and things, and he, you know, we make a good team. And like where stuff is like boring, you know, that's how we get things like, hey, why doesn't Rick hold up the fucking Pokemart with a gun right here? Because this could be funny, comedic relief.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I didn't think of that because like, you know, I didn't think of necessarily
he's
that.
Thugcatcher Rick for a reason, boys.
Yeah.
I will also add on to that saying we do take some inspiration from different media, right?
Yes.
So one of the easiest ones is David Hasselhoff in the SpongeBob swimming segment of the movie, right? So like SpongeBob and Patrick are on David Hasselhoff's body. He's swimming in that ridiculous fashion. That is 100% the inspiration for Axel swimming with Bugcatcher Rick on his back. We also have some other different anime inspirations. So like we do take some, we do mention like some anime things, I think.
A little bit.
Like we call Koga Sasuke.
That's just a silly meme.
That's just a meme.
That's a
So like
meme.
there are some actual inspiration for like how scenes play out taken from different animes.
So yeah, as far as the overall story goes, I have a funny text which I want to bring up right here.
Sure.
I screenshotted this. This was before we ever made the first episode. It's when I ran the pilot by McSnugs. He then had to go to a party or something, and on his way to the party, he texted me this. Heracross needs to be part of the Bugcatcher story at some point. To which I responded, he will, but problem is he's not Gen 1, so not right now. Finale. Potentially, the idea is he goes, they don't know I have this Pokemon Go Mega Mosquito. Moves are malaria, dengue fever, and other mosquito things. I said, that sounds like Buzzwole. What the fuck is Buzzwole? So, as you can see, like we did not have any idea of where it was gonna go as it started, and mainly because one, I just didn't know if we were gonna make it there, and two, he didn't know Pokemon, so yeah. Like we were at a loss from the jump. Somebody also, I don't mean to cut you off, but you'll like this one. Somebody asked, besides the Weedle Boat, Manta asks, besides Weedle Boat, what was the worst thing for you to edit? Most arduous is how he.
So my least favorite thing to edit was the first episode we see Ash, the Ash outfit come out. The reason being, this is a green screen behind us, so we're in the world, right? No problem with that. as soon as you have something green, like the gloves from the Ash outfit, you disappear. So
My hands were gone?
Yeah, so like his hands were just gone. And I'm like, oh
Wait,
man.
I can actually show them that.
So like grab the Yoshi or something.
I'll
Oh
show you.
yeah. And that was the most annoying because there were so many different green screen parts for that. Like like Ash, him in the Ash outfit is at least 30 seconds, if not closer to a minute, where he's going through the world. And essentially what I ended up having to do is have like alpha channel for each of these. Yeah, so this is what those parts look like in the editing software. It's so funny to see that because it's just weird, right? Yeah, so invisible hands. And that was by far the worst one just because there were so many of them. It wasn't actually that bad to do. Probably the hardest edit to do, off the top of my head, I'm not entirely sure. There were some that had about 20 to 25 layers of just different things. Sometimes when I have to create certain things that don't exist in the game as well. So one thing that you might not notice here on the screen, but the character from the game is in the screen. We just blew up the screen, right, so that you can't see him. He's off screen.
Yeah.
Some of the scenes you cannot get around that. So what I end up doing is I'm actually photoshopping out the character.
Fucking floor,
right?
Like he's
So
remaking the damn floor.
yeah. So the episode that has the most stuff like that is the fight against the Team Rocket boss, the 8th gym, where essentially the schoolhouse, I actually basically, because Rick is talking to his bugs and the camera's flipping, I made a separate background for like what the room would look like on the turn. So like there's small things
Doesn't
like
even
that
exist.
that yeah, it doesn't exist in the game,
Neither
right?
does Giovanni.
Neither does Giovanni, which we can get into. But yeah,
Yeah.
so like there's certain resources like that where like essentially it's somewhat like movie magic is what I would qualify it as, where we just get around stuff doing unique things and just throwing some things together.
That is Bidoof. I'll speed answer a couple more questions. How much money have we gotten from the Weedle from gambling? Well, we explained how much money we got in that one episode from Weedle. Weedle's no longer gambling. The Pokemon that's still gambling to this day is Hitmonlee, also known as Lee. And no other comment on that because we don't want to say anything yet. Can Bugcatcher Rick get to Hisui by Bug Arceus? No. When are we getting Bugcatcher Rick versus Youngster Joey? Probably never, because Rick would fucking stomp that man at this point.
Yeah,
dude.
at this point, Youngster Joey just donezo, bro.
And yes, this is how a podcast for Scala would work. Thanks. What's all the simulation? Have all those aspects made the shot? Yeah, I mean, it's truly, essentially, like, it's a labor of love, because we don't take any shortcuts on things. Not only because we don't want to, but because the game doesn't really allow us to. There's no way around certain things, and like, I guarantee you, 80% of the Bugcatcher Rick, like visually 80% of Bugcatcher Rick would be different if we weren't able to, or if you weren't able to actually edit shit around and
Yes.
like circumvent the game's
Yeah, so
the game's problem. So
there would be things we just wouldn't do. We'd be like, okay, can we do this? And then we potentially record it and like look at what's in game and be like, no, we can't do it. So some of the things there is, if you guys don't know, we piecemealed some of these fights, especially early on. Now, there is a legitimate playthrough here, especially in the Elite Four, which we'll get into. But there is a lot of piecemealing of fights early on. Essentially, the bugs were low level, and
in the game, the issue is that the game, I had already beaten the Elite Four, and in order to make and have all the resources necessary, all the assets, all the Pokemon caught, everything, I had to have already beaten it, or else it would have been hard, right?
And even as simple as fly around the map, right? Be able to go to the different regions very easily to expedite the filming process.
So people always ask, is it a real playthrough? Technically, yes and no, because no, it's not. Onyx, when you rematch the gym leader, Onyx is level fucking 58 or whatever.
Yeah, so
and I got I have a level 10 Metapod, so we had to fake that stuff. Really, I think we faked everything up until the Pokemon would actually be able to hang, which was about Blaine.
Yeah.
Blaine was the first gym that we actually truly won in like
Yes.
a battle. However, I ran the stats and I ran the numbers on using a stat checker on every other battle, and what we did would have won outside of the throwing Weedles at Onyx, because that's just for the meme.
Yeah.
That was just to get people interested in the story. Obviously, that's not real.
So, just from like the competitive Pokemon standpoint, like, yes, these bugs could actually go through and beat all these things in the way in which we did it. The other biggest part of that was the fire gym, in that essentially, Let's Go Pokemon doesn't have abilities, right? So like, you don't have certain things that would have actually benefited the fire gym specifically. So like, it's in the game, people can argue it, but the playthrough there was legit. So
Field a couple questions before you ask me another. Why does Rick only use bug? I mean, because he's a bug catcher, and you got to stay true. It's the most fun. If I saw a bug looking but not bug type, would he catch it? So that references the Kabutops joke from the first episode. And no, technically, if it's not bug type, we don't allow him to catch it, unless he's given it, such as like with Psyduck and Hitmonlee, where you kind of have to. Yes, we would Terra Bug, absolutely. Terra Bug Lee, that shit would probably, it wouldn't be bad. I mean, Bug isn't a bad physical defensive. Yeah, no, Terra Lee would go crazy. Has there ever been an idea that we had to scrap, either due to inability to optimally show them or too time consuming? And real quick, someone said the man on the left is a man of God. I assume I believe they referenced you, but it would make more sense to say
I'm a God editor.
God editor. And I'm a God Rick. But yes, we did absolutely have to scrap.
Yeah.
A couple things.
So sometimes we scrap things because they didn't just pan out the way we wanted them to. Like, they might not be as funny as we thought. That isn't as often. That's, I would say, fairly rare.
Yeah, that's very rare.
There are some things where essentially I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, we need to somewhat like refilm something or like add something in
voice lines
to pretty much round out what is happening, because like sometimes you end up with things that might feel like hollow or like it doesn't flow right. But is there a specific point where we had to scrap?
I would say not like anything major that comes to my mind, like a skit that we really wanted to do outside of for the finale, but I'm not going to go into that. Outside of that, that was the first big thing that we had planned and put a lot of time into, and then we can't do it. And that sucks, but we have a better alternative, in my opinion. What we decided, a better alternative. So it helped us get to that point. I would say most things that get scrapped, honestly, it's in the draft of the episode, where either I write something, he says he can't do it, or he writes something and I say that can't happen in Pokemon. Or it's like, why don't we use sleep powder on Arcanine? Right. Well, he's fucking faster and it's going to kill Butterfree. Like, just something like that, right? So that's our majority of those. Oh, the God Bidoof. That's precisely Mackenzie says.
Okay.
Thank you, Mackenzie, for referencing the Bidoof hat that I believe chat bought for me a long time ago. So thank you guys. Anyways, carrying on.
Next question. We have a lot more to get through, so thank you guys for asking questions. Rick, why Metapod?
It's the same answer. It's just the same answer as before. It's that fucking Metapod episode from the anime. Okay. That shit is just too funny.
He's just a meme.
He's a meme. He looks funny. His noise is funny. A lot of people have commented about Pokemon Rusty, which I just want to get out there. I didn't know what Pokemon Rusty was. I had never seen it. I don't even think you know what I'm talking about. Dude, I have no clue
what he's talking about.
It's a old, like 8 to, I think it's almost 9 or 11. It's either 8 or 11 years old animation of a guy playing through Fire Red, and his starter's a Kakuna, which is the opposite of Metapod.
Yeah.
So I just didn't even know that. And his first
honestly,
thing is
that's pretty cool though.
But like, he'll say, he doesn't, I don't think he makes Harden jokes. I think he uses Kakuna, like, I watched an episode last night, or like
Oh,
the
yeah.
first like few minutes, and he goes like, Kakuna, use headbutt, and then it just fucking throws it at a Rattata and kills it, and it like dies, right?
Alright, that's pretty good.
But like the ending and everything is way different. We legitimately had no idea what that was, and people kept saying like, I've got a couple comments like, "Oh, you ripped off Pokemon Rusty," and I'm like, I don't fucking know what that is. Like,
Yeah.
And also, it's not ripping it off because like he's not a bug catcher, and like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's unfortunate because like so many people put out so much content on these platforms that like you just don't know in a lot of these cases like that somebody put out something similar. You know, obviously people will put out like making my first Minecraft house. You know, that's been done before, right? But I would say the way in which we've done it is very unique, very different from anything that people have put out for Pokemon.
Yeah, I
at
don't
least
think
recently.
anybody's really green screened into like a battle thing like
So-
this. I just want to say, Decidueye, your question is not showing up on my phone, which means that you're probably either putting a cuss word or something. It might show up on the screen,
If you,
but I can't see it. So,
okay.
she keeps says, "Should I stop asking that question?" I don't know what you're asking. I'm sorry. Will there be more seasons? We'll go into that late at the end. So
Yep.
not to like say that, but if you want to check the VOD later, this will be the last thing we talk about, just so in case people skip to the end.
okay.
Rick has knowledge about Pokemon, whereas Rusty's really dumb. Ah, okay.
Huh.
I mean, no shade. I'm not saying that we're better or anything. All I'm saying is two things can exist at the same
And
time and
be
both be
unique.
good.
Yeah.
And they can both be unique. So that's all.
Okay. Next up is names. Naming of characters can be really tough sometimes. I mean, like, try naming a dog, bro. But
Here they come, right on cue.
how did we end up with the names Rick, Axel, and some of the other things in the series?
Hamza asked this earlier, so that's kind of funny. Long story short, we're like bug catcher, and we just went on the wiki. Rick is just a funny name to us. It was better than a lot of the other bug catcher names. Same thing with Axel. We talked for a long time about what the rival should be, and we disagreed. That we heavily disagreed on this.
I think I finally convinced you.
Yes, so I thought for sure that the rival should be like from the get-go, and almost an Oak replacement.
Okay.
It's an Oak,
Yeah.
substitute,
Yeah.
or Gary Oak.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Sorry, Gary substitute. Whereas Snugs wanted it to be different and wanted it to be something like more unique to him.
So my perspective of this is we already took NPC names that exist in the game, right? At least for Rick. So I was thinking we should have his rival have some of those NPC elements to him as well,
Yeah.
such
Hey.
that it feels more like these are two NPCs going through the game, less so of a player and a rival going through the game. So Axel is his rival, but at the end of the day, to me, it was like I wanted them to feel like NPCs, and I think I was able to finally somewhat convince you on that. Not saying that it would have been better or worse, but I think we got some funny stuff with Axel. So,
Yeah, I think so. And I think what turned me off was the like you wanted it to be like extremely like at first, and then we found a middle ground
Yeah.
between us where like Axel still has a personality,
Yeah.
but they are NPCs and they do things that NPCs would do.
yes.
Hamza says it's interesting that you named Bugcatcher Rick after the first Bugcatcher in the game. Like it's a coincidence. That is the 1st guy you fight. Funny enough, I fought him on stream when I did my Fire Red Nuzlocke. That video's coming out soon, but yeah, I fought him on stream. I forgot, But yeah, so that's how we chose that. Then we came up with Axel. We just looked at the names and found that Swimmer Axel was unique and better than like.
So I think part of what convinced us for Swimmer Axel as well is that we already had the costume, right? It's swim trunks, the swim cap that you had,
And the goggles that I've already had,
right?
yeah.
And like that fully encapsulates what the NPC swimmers have.
We debated the Speedo too, because in
Yeah,
the game they wear Speedo, but I'm like,
Kids
are gonna watch
not for
this.
I don't. I think that was just like, do we do Speedo? And we're both like, hell no.
Yeah. We questioned
that
it,
would have been
but
bad.
that is what they
But,
wear. But yeah, no, that's pretty much the story about the characters. For
So-
all the characters, some that you don't know yet.
So, speaking about stories,
Mm-hmm.
there are some things that we have stories about. Can you walk us through how you actually got Pinsir in the game?
Dude, holy shit. Okay, so this one is actually my favorite. So everybody knows Pokemon have exclusive types, like per game. Fire Red has exclusives. Like for instance, you can only get Slowpoke and Slowbro, I believe, in Leaf Green. Same with Starmie and Staryu.
Okay.
So like those are two good water types that you can get in Leaf Green. In Fire Red, you get like, this is a better example. Arcanine Fire Red, Ninetales Leaf Green.
Okay.
That's the difference.
Mhm.
Scyther, I believe, is Fire Red. Pinsir is Leaf Green.
Okay.
And then it's Fire Red equals Pikachu. Let's go Pikachu.
Mhm.
And then Leaf Green is Eevee.
Okay.
So I couldn't get Pinsir, and we needed to have Pinsir on the team. And I don't have any friends that have a Switch that have the game, right? I was pretty much fucked. So what I had to do one weekend while this guy was on vacation, I was in a fucking Discord, the like official Let's Go Discord, begging people to trade me a Pinsir, like literally begging them. And at the time, I didn't know at all how these things work, that they have like an entirely dedicated channel where it's like within the Discord that's like trade for trade, seeking trades. And I'm like, who's playing this game? Like this game is dead and shit. Like, why is somebody even playing it? But it's so active. There's hundreds of people in there. Like, anybody got a Chansey? I need a fucking this. And it's just trading between copies, right? Everybody's trying to complete their decks.
Yeah.
So this guy, finally, I post in there. Yeah, I learned the lingo. Sorry. The first time I didn't. I say, hey guys, I make a YouTube series. I really need a Pinsir in like the general chat. And I get fucked up by the moderators. They,
Oh,
like,
they
delete it. Do not post. Blah, blah, blah. We have a dedicated channel. Read the rules. I'm like, oh my god, man.
They're asking what happened to audio. Is audio okay, guys?
Uh-oh. Hello? What happened?
Do I need to pull it up to see how we're
No,
doing?
good now. I might have been
Okay.
like hitting something.
Okay.
Dude, yeah, like the Citrus guy. Okay, that came up. Pretty much, yeah. The moderators bothered me. Then I learned the lingo by reading other people's and deciphering. It was like T for T blank something, and it's like T for T Pinsir blah blah blah.
Mhm.
So this guy was looking for a. Oh my God, what was it?
You had to trade something pretty good.
Something
to get
that
Pinsir,
you
right?
can only find in Cerulean Cave, which is pretty far away, and it took so long for me to catch it because my Joy-Cons are fucking destroyed with Joy-Con drift, and the gyro sensor does not work anymore, so I'm just throwing Pokeballs and they're going nowhere.
Do you remember what Pokemon it was?
No, it wasn't a Chansey. It was just
Okay.
it was something else.
It was something pretty rare in there.
Pretty rare in there, yeah.
Okay.
And it took for. I mean, this was a 4.5 hour adventure just to get a freaking Pinsir on my team, dude. It was crazy. Did someone just subscribe?
Yep. Kevin Norson, thank you for subbing.
Thank you for the
Appreciate you.
sub. Thank you for the sub. Jinx. It might have been Jinx, but I don't know if they're in Cerulean Cave. I don't remember, but anyways, yeah. So it was a 4-hour adventure just to get the Pinsir on my team. And once again, that's not even talking about how we got the others and had to level them up, because I mean,
Yeah. So,
that's a pain in the ass. Any other stories?
and to this day, we still have to level them up.
We do.
Yeah, more stories. We've already touched on the piecemealing of fights early on, but we mentioned the Giovanni battle. You want to elaborate on the Giovanni battle?
I do. Decidu guy, I think you finally got your question in though, real quick. I know you've been trying. Does Bugcatcher Rick get his Metapod action, or is he maidenless? That's definitely why it was getting banned, because you were probably saying, does he get bitches or something? I don't talk about my child's relationships live on the internet. Does Bugcatcher Rick smash? Once again, that is a child, no comment. So, what we're doing here is talking about Giovanni.
Mm-hmm.
As I previously mentioned, the game was already beaten. I had already beaten the Elite Four as we were recording the footage, right?
Yes.
So during that time, once you beat the game, shit changes around the map, shit changes around the story. Giovanni leaves. In every game, once you beat him, the 8th gym is closed up, locked up. It's essentially saying he left to go back to be the Team Rocket boss.
Yep.
It's like the story.
Mm-hmm.
And who replaces him in Let's Go, because you can fight every gym? Gary Oak. an entirely different trainer, an entirely different battle,
Yep,
an
different
entirely
team.
different guy in the room.
Yep.
So we had to add Giovanni into a battle that he did not exist, and fight fake Pokemon essentially.
Yes. So
None of that was real.
We added him in through recordings of some other people's playthroughs. That is the reason, but him not being there is the reason why that episode plays out the way it does with the school classroom, right? So we talked about how I had to make that set. So there is the regular classroom where you're viewing the blackboard, but yeah, so that is
episode.
the reason why that episode is filmed like that. That Rick is like teaching his Pokemon before they go battle, and then there is like some of those battle elements where we were able to use a first playthrough battle.
And luckily Gary had a ride on, which Giovanni has. So like there was some leadway, but yeah, they're spamming that Unk is not a child. So yes, I am not a child, but Bugcatcher
Metapod
Rick is a child. The bug catchers are like 10 years old. So like yes, I'm not saying I'm 10, but he is a child. The character is a child.
Yep.
He might not act like it all the time, but it's just the way it is, man. What's my second favorite type? That's tough for me. That is really tough, but obviously yes, Bug is my first. I would say my second favorite type legitimately is Dark or Ice. Darks have really cool design, such as Shuppet, one of my favorite Pokemon. And Ice types usually just have swag on them, or they're really funny, and it's Steel, who's just like a fat little guy. So it just depends to me. There's already an Ice type named Seal, so I think that's funny. Yeah, in the games he is, but he acts old. I mean, yeah, that's just, that's the thing, right? He wasn't old enough to gamble at the casino. That should already tell you that he's not an adult.
Yep.
Anyways,
what is your favorite part about the Bugcatcher Rick costume? You have your net, you have your hat, you got your vest, your Weedle.
Nobody's ever actually commented on the net. I've never seen a comment on the Bugcatcher net.
Raja did. I remember Raja did.
Okay,
on
maybe
one of the early episodes.
Of course, that fucking guy.
Because I was watching back through them in preparation of this.
The net, if you want to grab it real quick.
Yeah, I can grab the net real quick.
The net, if you haven't actually paid attention, is just a stick I found in my backyard in North Carolina with a paper bag. A plastic bag from my local grocery store. Like this is not a net, but nobody's ever said anything about it. And we've used it. The bag is all fucked up. And the worst part about it, I know you asked me the best, but the worst part, this is the worst, is that this thing was like home to. She's like, give me stick. This thing was home to like hella fire ants. There's like little holes that you can see all in it, and I was always like, where are these ants coming from? Like all the time, I'm like, why are there ants on my keyboard? And it's because I would put this down on my desk when I don't use it for the next shot, and ants would come out, and they're just like in my keyboard, and I'm like,
He's quite literally
happening?
Bugcatcher Rick. He's quite literally Bugcatcher Rick, guys.
Yeah, I mean that is the worst part. My favorite part has got to be the Weedle, the Weedle plush in here. I just think this is just like a neat little thing that Snugs came up with and we ordered.
Yep. So we have received comments about that guy, and I remember we got a comment saying, "Is that a Weedle in your container?" And I responded to that saying, "It's the first Weedle Rick ever caught."
And
the guy was like, "What? No way!"
Yeah, this is silly.
I was just like, "Oh my god!" But no, I do enjoy the Weedle. I think it's
neat.
It's pretty neat. I think the funniest part is like it's obviously for children, the container, and we wanted to have it because all the bug catchers in the games have those bug containers that you just put them in, and so it was just a nice addition that we were able to do.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that part of the outfit.
All right. Do they have more questions currently?
No, you're good.
Okay.
You can keep on.
What game is in your Game Boy?
Oh, Fire Red. I say that all the time.
Yep. People always ask that one.
People always love to be like, "What's in there, Ruby?" It's Fire Red, man. You can tell by the coloring. My favorite Pokemon game.
Going back to some of the NPC stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is today the big day? And what does that mean to you?
I mean, what we did, I think, with that, the idea is that it's always there, because originally it was one episode per gym, so that way they know today's the big day. Like, it's like, oh, he's about to fight the gym, and then honestly, it's just a meme.
Yeah, I think it became a meme,
stuck.
like partly because of, like, the way you say it, and
We got some questions.
Okay.
Well, actually, this is a demand from Atlas Olgun. Make the videos faster.
Dog, there is so much work that goes into each of these videos that we quite literally cannot do them faster. There's not enough time in the day.
I would say that episode 22 probably was like 100 hours from conception to finalize.
You think it was that long?
Think it was longer or shorter?
No, I
maybe not.
maybe a little short, but
we'll go 75.
max like 100.
75.
Probably.
Like multiple 8-hour days. Conception alone, playtesting, recording, editing, chopping, green screen over here when I'm alone, chopping them down, sending them to him. He has got to download everything and fucking put them in. Like, it is a process. All the extra things. The editing is obviously the longest portion, but I wish we could make them faster. There's times when we're like a week, like getting them out like the weekly. We were cutting it close sometimes.
Yes,
we've had to plan around life events. I moved. You know,
I moved as well.
Oh yeah,
we had
vacations,
multiple vacations that we basically had to speed through things and dropped other content from the channel to have a Friday episode. So yeah, we are quite literally working at capacity when it comes to some of these large scale series.
We're not trying to do the woe is me YouTuber bit, but we're just saying that like there's we're not just on our ass. Like we're actually we spend a significant portion of our lives on Bugcatcher Rick, and we love it. It's awesome, and we're thankful that you guys watch it. It's just like, I get what you're coming from.
So I will say episode 21 is 2 minutes 40 seconds. The maximum you can do for a short is 3 minutes. Episode 22 is another 2 minutes 40 seconds. So like the Elite Four episodes are big episodes. We're trying to get them done weekly. Obviously, we couldn't do it for episode 22 because I am here.
Yeah.
Right. There was going to be no way that I was going to be able to push it out. So we delayed it by a week, but yeah.
So we try. Decidu guy, have a good night. Also, we got a question. What is my opinion on Ride On?
Clayton.
Give him something to ride on, dude. That's the bar.
Yep.
Welcome back, Clayton. And yes, so the Game Boy is a Pokédex phone. Think of it as like your from the book fair, Scholastic Book Fair back in the day, and it was like super spy gadget all in one device, and it was like a game, calendars, email, it's everything, dude. It's an all-in-one device, so it works as my phone, predominantly phone and Pokédex.
Yes.
Hook, line, and sinker. The videos always come out, so hey, effort and quality, and that's the thing. We really are trying. I just fucking said wee. I just said wee.
Yeah.
We are trying.
That's okay.
We really try to make sure that this series is something that we're proud of, and like I said, we find it surreal that we're getting to the point of putting together the full cut Bugcatcher Rick the movie with extras.
Because the movie will be 35 minutes, 40 minutes.
I think it's 45, bro.
Yeah, it might be more.
Like that's almost a feature-length fucking movie, and that we created and putting on the internet. And like, okay, it's not like an Inception or something. It's not going to change the way that we think about cinema.
We're not winning any awards.
But for two guys with no background that just ramble on and come up with nonsense, like it's a milestone for us. So I think that's like what's happy, and it's brought a lot of viewership to the channel, but like happiness to people. Like people literally say like my week is better because I watched this episode,
which is
like,
crazy. Like that's crazy.
That's wild
think
shit.
About.
And that's why we like making YouTube in the first place. It's fun, and it feels good, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just nice to like make something that people like. I mean, everybody could probably agree with that.
No, it quite literally will be a milestone when we have the movie come out. Do you have a question, or should I go into the next?
If either of you were able to run a gym, how to set that up? I would probably run a haunted house disguised as a gym and only operate during October. Bro, you lazy, man. You can't only open your gym once a month.
I mean, what are the rules on Blaine opening his gym? He just got the key in the fucking
That's true.
abandoned mansion.
Yeah, but Blaine's got aura. I don't know if Mackenzie's got aura like that.
Maybe not. Mackenzie, get your aura up.
I think it's McKinsey.
Mackenzie, get your aura up. But I mean, if you're running a haunted house gym, that's pretty dope.
That's very unique. So if we had a bug gym, I think it would just be literally string shots everywhere. It's like spider webs and string shots, and you just have to like avoid it. And it's like the you know the Japanese TV show where it's like the cardboard cutouts and they're just in like crazy positions, and it would just be that, but instead it's like spider web, and then it would just come at you. And you have to survive it. And if you get hit, you battle the trainer. But and all your Pokemon are speed debuffed. Because you got hit by a string shot.
Okay.
Or I guess a sticky web. I mean, it would be a sticky web.
I think that's pretty creative. Maybe that's a good idea to conceptually put down.
Well, we'll see. There's no way, obviously, it could happen in game, but I just think that's funny. Anyways, will Rick end up on Mount Silver? No, because that's Johto, isn't it? Technically, isn't that in Johto?
I don't know.
I mean, he doesn't know, but
I couldn't tell you. But what I have to bring up when we talk about Catcher Rick is the YouTube Kids chaos.
Oh God!
Just briefly touch on it. What's going on with it? Any updates?
Yeah. So I mean, as you guys know, the first one happened in March, I believe.
Yes.
It happened in March, right before I moved, and
episode 5.
It was episode 5, and they just decided to strike it. Obviously crazy because of cuss words and things that were in it. And then it was like, yay, apply for the appeal to ban it.
Appeal the decision of them setting it to YouTube Kids.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I do that, and I get a response like within like 3 minutes, which tells me that it's a fucking robot again, and it was like rejected, and I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? And then from then on, it nuked the channel. I mean, like our, I mean, we've been over it. We showed, right? Like we got nothing from it. And somebody commented on episode 21 and said, why does Rick swear now? And I think that is like the perfect wrap it all up in a bow. Mm-hmm. Is like, we had to change who this guy is as a human, as a character, and develop it into more of a criminal, crude, like dark humor person solely because YouTube made us do it.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking wild. Dude.
So I will say there was cursing before then. The cursing was censored, both visually and audibly. From the point, I think it was episode 9 was the second one that got set to Made for Kids. We decided we cannot just have YouTube basically just deny the channel from getting views solely because they are misrepresenting what the content is. So we unbleeped the cursing audibly. That seems to have been the main fix, except the exception being the short talking about it, saying we're going to beat the shit out of YouTube's ass, where we cursed twice in the first 2 seconds of it, and they still registered it as kids.
Which is so
crazy.
So ironically funny. I'm going to beat the shit out of YouTube's ass. That sounds pretty kid-friendly.
Yeah, but outside of that, there's not really an update. The cursing is there solely to make sure we don't fall into the kids category. We wish we didn't have to do it, because we also want to be as advertiser-friendly as possible. Yeah. And, I mean, friendly to younger people that aren't quite in the kids category.
Yeah, I mean...
But, moving on.
Hamza also says that he was introduced by the YouTube Kids video, which I think is pretty funny.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So welcome from that. Hope everyone is well. Thank you. YouTube Kids is stupid. The game is extra kid-friendly franchise. Yeah, we'll see. And
that's fair, but it just sucked to have to deal with it.
It sucked that it also nuked our channel.
Yeah.
Like, it you know, we lost months of revenue and views and growth.
Yeah.
Solely because YouTube's stupid. And like that's the part that sucks, but I mean, hey, we're back up now. Numbers are up now. Things are doing well, so we can't
it's just something we have to deal with, right? We learned from it, I think, and we'll take that into the future. We should never have another get mistaken unless it's like a one-off.
Yeah.
But any other questions for now?
No.
Okay. Easter eggs. Do you guys like Easter eggs?
Yeah.
We put a lot in there. Do you have a favorite Easter egg?
Besides the wanted posters, which I would consider Easter eggs.
Okay.
Besides the wanted posters, I think my favorite Easter egg is just revolving around either like the Ghastly sneaking around in episode 7,
Okay.
which only a couple people noticed. No, I think that's my favorite one because it's like
the Ghastly.
yeah, because it's like it's literally foreshadowing
Yes.
with a shadow Pokemon. So I just think it's kind of neat.
Yeah. So I do really enjoy the Ghastly in Lavender Town. There are a few frames where he's in more of the shots than like you can see. So like one of the early shots, he's behind a sign when you're talking to the camera. You have the text up. He's relatively easy to spot there. There's somewhere he's following him around.
In the window.
There's the one in the window that we did not have to put him in the window. Rick's in a room just talking, and there's a panning shot, and we see him outside. And there's just like small things like that we've thrown in, just to make sure that there's different things for you guys to find in these episodes. And I don't think we're going to give away all of the Easter eggs, but we're going to talk about some of the things that people have found. One of the other things in that specific episode is in the battle scene, you can actually see the Ghastly go up to Metapod. And that's why Metapod has ended up sleeping. It's very difficult to see it because it's very much in the background and I think behind Rick. But I thought that was just a cool touch. Not many people have actually seen that one either.
No, not many people comment on a lot of the Easter eggs.
Yeah. So the wanted posters is one of your other favorite things.
Yeah.
We will
It's like
post
One Piece, dude.
I actually took the wanted poster design from One Piece. We will post the wanted posters at some point. There's actually a legitimate series of them. There's like, Rick essentially has gotten multiple wanting posters in the timeline of events, like with different things becoming like the crimes on the poster.
It's progressively worse.
And the bounties updated. The only thing with it is these things are mainly in the backgrounds.
Yeah.
So you don't really like get to read the text, but we will post this at some point, like the series of wanted posters, just so you guys can see like the funny stuff we added on them, and just like enjoy some of the details there.
Have you ever thought of having some kind of catchphrase? I do have a catchphrase. It's I'm gonna beat the Elite Four.
Yeah.
That's what I consider. I mean, unless you want like something like, I think like Get Hard can kind of consider it too. Like it's a dog party in here now. But I think that's I would consider that the catchphrase, to be honest.
Yeah.
So.
And then I think the last we got a couple more things in some of the Easter eggs. Pokédex voices. We're actually voicing like some of these Pokédex entries ourselves. I think I'm voicing a majority of them. Except for the most recent one where it's like we're talking to the guy in the Elite Four. But
I was doing a Meowth impression. I made a silly video because that guy is actually referencing friend of the channel, is often in streams, Mark. So we called the furry guy, the slowpoke guy, a furry guy, and then said Marcus to like bother him because I have a running joke with him that I always tell people that my friend Mark
is a furry.
Not he's a furry, that my friend Mark watches My Little Pony.
Oh, that's what it is.
I don't know why. Just the joke is that like, hey, Mark loves My Little Pony, and it's just always been it's a friend group joke. So then we made him into a furry, put him in the thing. So that's why I said Marcus, the furry type Pokemon.
Yep.
But I was using the Meowth voice.
Yes, you were.
Marcus, the furry type Pokemon is like, that's Meowth.
To me, it was so funny that I didn't even want to voice it. I just threw you in on that one, and I was like, "This is just great." So, there's that. The Metapod Everstone.
Yeah. That's probably up there.
I think that's one of the most clever ones. There's a reason why he's not evolving. He has a Everstone in it, and
that was an awful Meowth voice.
Yeah. So he has a Everstone, and as he's dressed up as Pikachu, another Pikachu is there and shocks him, and you're able to see the Everstone inside of Metapod. I think it was episode 20.
20, yeah.
Just for a few frames, you can see it twice.
Someone said
But-
Meta Stone.
But that somebody found that
And asked,
like
right?
about, I think there were about 150 comments already on it, and that guy found that, and we pinned him in the comments. So there's certain things where like there's details, not necessarily in the foreground but in the background, that are happening, and we leave them as like breadcrumbs for you guys to find.
Metapod had a rock to get even harder.
Yeah.
He needed that shit. Why are you licking the mouse?
Okay. Best series moment. What do you think is the best series moment?
I mean, that's pretty difficult, I would say. It's hard to pin it. I mean, the best series moment is something that you guys haven't seen yet, in my eyes.
Okay.
So, like, if that's able to go through, if we're able to end the finale in the way that we are on plan to, I mean, nothing will be better than that.
Mhm.
Nothing will, like, that's just peak.
Okay.
So, like, not to hype up the finale as, like, the greatest thing that we've written, but, like, I mean,
Yeah. So, are there any moments up to this point that like stand out to you?
I really like the gambling bits. I think that just tell him like you're level 21, Weedle,
Mhm.
is like a really clever joke. That was like my favorite joke I think that I've written for the series. I just like that one.
Yeah.
I also like anytime that we use game knowledge in a way that benefits the comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's like something like a move missing, or can't use this move, or we use a different move that like we like use a move to do something else. I don't know. I like those. I would say my favorite moments are the more comedy game. I like the game corner. I would say the game corner.
I think
The game corner is so funny.
It is pretty funny. One of the jokes that really didn't give as much love as like we thought it should was the Cloister joke.
Oh yeah.
Is like don't be a
pussy.
Don't be a pussy, Cloister, soak 'em.
Soak 'em.
It's a double entendre that like there is like some people that enjoyed it, but it was just like just some of that stuff with like the play on words with the different Pokemon and just things that we can do in the game. So
Shit's mad silly, man.
yeah. All right, you can't say Metapod.
Okay.
Who's the best bug on the team?
I mean, it has to be Pinsir.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, I don't think we win
Half of the fights without Pinsir.
half of the fights. I don't think we win any fight after Blaine without him, or including Blaine and up.
Okay.
Right? I mean, that's why we got him. Like, there's no way. There's no way we could beat Blaine without Rock Slide. We have no super effective moves besides Parasect Dig, but it's too slow.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it has to be Pinsir. Like, just the best.
The MVP essentially of actually carrying the plot forward, right?
He's the MVP. But my favorite other bug besides Metapod, I don't know if that was the second part of the question.
Go ahead.
Is Beedrill.
Beedrill.
And I hate Beedrill, like, because I have to put on the fucking bug suit. And that's something that we decided the first episode. After the first episode went out and it fucking boomed, we're like, okay, next episode we got to do an evolution. How are we gonna evolve the team?
Yeah.
I would get. Snugs was like, well, we don't need to evolve until like the 5th episode, and I'm like, brother, that's his lack of Pokemon. It's like we're fight. I'm not like the Beedrill. I'm like Beedrill evolves at level 10 or 11, and he's like, what? He's like a 3rd evolution is level 10 because he thinks like, or he knows Charizard's like 30. So he's like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, dude, bugs suck. So I'm like, shit. If we would have a Beedrill in Mount Moon, and I'm like, I really wanted to do the bit where I wear a bee suit, and it implies that Rick's allergic, and that we have to wear it.
Yep.
And I'm like, but that means I have to wear it every single time Beedrill is out for the rest.
Yep.
I think it makes for pure comedy. It's funny. We're so committed to it. But I hate having to do it. But it is really funny. So like he's my favorite Pokemon because he like is a dick to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's always trying to fight, like sting me. He comes out, he's just like, I'm gonna fuck you up.
The comedy around Beedrill is just fun.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way to explain it. It's just fun. I think along those lines as well, one of the funniest things with Beedrill to me is, like, I don't know if we need to compile Beedrill stats, because Beedrill does not win a battle for a while.
Yeah.
He gets crapped on so much that no spoilers, but Beedrill is one of the better bugs on the team, and
He is. I mean, he's got a
we-
mega, which is
he's got a role to play. So he's been kind of shitted on for a lot of the series, just because, and he's gonna start doing some work here, I think.
yeah. No, absolutely. That was a fun question. I appreciated that one. As you,
Okay.
I'm like fucking shaking in my chair. I think I got brain rot, guys. I can't keep myself just calmed out right now.
Okay.
I got TikTok rot. What's up?
Well, we're about an hour into this, so
Oh, we're at an hour already.
yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Oh wow.
Does anybody have more comments?
No, I'll let you know.
Okay. So on the shorts, we've already touched on this a little bit, where we're talking about how legit is the playthrough. We've gotten a lot of comments, essentially being Pokemon nerds, like thinking that they know everything about the games, and they do know a lot. But I want to ask again, what parts of the gameplay are like accurate to you?
Yeah, this one gets me freaking triggered because it's like, it's like, I mean, everyone does it. I can't blame most people in the comments.
Mhm.
It is annoying now that we are a creator.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was that way as a kid, where it's like you see something that's wrong, and your first thing is to like shout out that it's wrong.
Try to correct it.
Try to correct it immediately. And a lot of the times, it's actually not wrong. You just didn't know that it wasn't, and it appeared to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is a possibility.
Yeah.
But people seem to not understand that. So like, if it's just all too often that somebody's like, actually,
Yeah.
like the Arcanine Extreme Speed just like pissed me off, because like if anybody did like 1 second of like research and just said, Pokemon, like this is not Fire Red, it's not Gen 1. Clearly, like I mean, look at the
Yeah.
graphics. It's 3D. It's like it's a different game. A lot of people don't even know that Let's Go exists and commented that. And I'm like, this is Let's Go. He doesn't have extreme speed. What
Yeah.
is Let's Go? Why are you commenting? Like that's just me being salty, because like I've had to correct so many people, because everything that has happened outside of like I said, the throwing the Weedles at Onyx, everything is factually true and happens in Let's Go. Let's Go is very unique.
No abilities.
There's no abilities, right? So like we could have used Parasect Dig on Haunter inside of Pokemon Tower, but that's not accurate. So we have to change certain things.
Yeah.
But majority of it's real, and like I'm not the greatest Pokemon player. I'm not like the smartest competitively, but I know enough about Pokemon.
We've seen that from your
I play
Nuzlocke.
enough of it. My Nuzlocke, I won. So Nuzlocke singular. But like all of it is actually real. Like if you wanted to take what happened
Mm-hmm.
in Let's Go, mind you,
Yes.
and do a playthrough of Let's Go, it would win if you got lucky. I mean, there's a lot of times, a lot of battles,
Yes.
which you'll see that I have to replay 4, 5, 6 times in order to make sure that their move misses, like the Blizzard misses,
Yeah.
and the Sleep Powder hits, for
Yeah.
example. Right?
So I will say, like, just from the Elite Four itself, like there were some great moments that we basically have built the battles around the actual playthrough that we're doing, right?
Yeah.
And it's tense, man. Like these battles are close. Like even the Lorelei battle, even though Pinsir's the only one who dies, it's a close battle, because if Pinsir went down earlier, somebody else is going down, and the
It was sweep.
team's going
Straight sweep.
nowhere, right?
We have a couple questions.
Yep.
So yeah, Let's Go is cool because it is unique, and like it gives Drill Run and Outrage. Outrage is really good for Beedrill. No comment further. Drill Run he doesn't get till 58, and I opted to not give it to him because to me to me it seemed cheap. I don't know. I just thought it was cheap to have him have a ground move. How many Weedles does it take to beat an Onyx? I think it was like 13. About a dead on him. How would Rick react if he met Bugsy? He might stand, dude. I don't know. Why can't I interview Bugcatcher Rick?
Well, you can ask us.
No. Why can't Scalo interview Bugcatcher Rick? Because if I pre-recorded the green screen.
Oh my God,
that would have been pretty funny, actually.
Timing that was...
There was a scene that confused me. When you said bug types are good against ghosts.
That was the one mistake I was going to bring up.
That is the single mistake.
There could be some
in
others,
wording, but the way that I explained it and why that I said it and why I had said it was because in Let's Go, in Pokemon Tower, Haunters and the other Pokemon that are in there and like the trainers have psychic type moves. So they're super effective because Beedrill is poison type. You know, all the poison type bugs are get bodied by that. So that's why I said, because I'm like, oh, I can't use my Beedrill against it. And I corrected it, and then I'll probably change that line in the final cut to make it not.
Just make sure that it's all good.
Yeah, and I realized that, and I was like, I fucked up. I was like, my bad, bro. I made a mistake. But
I think that's okay, because like for the most part, these fights are real, and the information there, like there's a lot of research that goes into these. What's up?
How does Metapod show up on a green screen? Well, I don't have a Metapod, and luckily the Pokedex green screen is blue, so it helps us.
Yes. So
Mackenzie.
I was just gonna say, a lot of the times where we're putting Pokemon into the scene where like they might not actually, or
when it's not in a battle.
Yeah, where they shouldn't necessarily be, where like there's multiple Pokemon around Rick. That's multiple layers of green screen, essentially. What we do is it's not green screen, it's based off of the Pokédex entries in Let's Go Pokemon. We're able to rotate the Pokemon around, get them to how we want to have them placed in the scene. We have them do like some cries sometimes. We have them do their different unique animations. Yeah. And that's how we're able to get some of these scenes outside battles and inside battles to look pretty cool. So
yeah. Mackenzie says that there might be a couple of bug trainers that would be a preferred parental figure over Professor Oak. That's actually funny as shit. Yeah, you're right. There definitely are. Professor Oak is a criminal.
Yeah.
Manta.
We've really kind of just
drug
made
that out. We've drug Oak's name through the mud with this
solely for comedy.
Manta says everyone makes mistakes, and honestly, it would make sense for a little kid just to think of it wrong. I mean, yeah, but to me, that's a cop-out. Like, I guess it would make sense in the sense of the world, but like, I don't want to get around like me messing something up and just like, nah, it's not my fault. Rick is just dumb. Like, I don't know. That seems a cop-out. So I'd rather. I mean, I wrote something wrong. I said it wrong. Whatever. I'll fix it later. I think that's just how it goes.
I think that's part of why people enjoy Rick as well. Is we could have made him stupid, right? Yeah. We could have made him oblivious to every single thing. But like, Rick is a good trainer. He's not the best trainer.
Yeah.
Obviously, the best trainer's not picking bugs, but we try to make him feel like he's a legitimate trainer in that he might not get everything right all the time. Like, one of the episodes, he misuses a move, right? He doesn't use the correct move, or just small things like that where like he messes up sometimes. Obviously, the saying incorrect information is different, but like trying to flush out the character, he's a legitimate trainer, you know.
Yeah.
And he's learning things through the series too.
Mm-hmm. No, so it's all good. Bellissimo, good point. Bug types are dope. You beat Radical Red. Shit, people have been asking me to play that. I just beat my first Nuzlocke ever, which is Fire Red. So I did hardcore though. I did hardcore, and I beat it. Easy money. So Radical Red maybe
this time.
Radical Red's maybe in the future.
Throw for content.
That's true. But I do also. Well, trust me, I did not throw on purpose in any of those runs. I want to do a Bugcatcher Rick playthrough as well with the actual team in Fire Red. That's on the schedule. No date yet. It's on the calendar, but I don't know when. So that'll come out eventually.
Yep. So, are there any other questions you guys have currently? If not, we're going to get into the final question. I'll give you some time to write some things down, and we can just talk about some of the other things in the series. I don't know if anything's coming to mind, but
yeah, no, I think like particularly that this was fun because like making the series was fun because I love Pokemon. Fire Red's my favorite, one of my favorite games. Like I have so much history playing it over and over again, and like I really enjoy it overall. And I know quite a bit about it, so it makes it easy for me. So I really enjoyed it. The thing though is that at the end of the day, we don't want to be solely
Pokemon, right? We don't want the channel's reputation just to be Bugcatcher Rick, and I don't think it necessarily is. I think for a lot of the newer fans, it is.
Yeah.
But if you look at the top performing stuff on the channel, it's also the Ref series, and the Ref series was a lot of fun. They're just a little harder to write and have like a conclusive story. So, yeah, I mean,
Bill brought up he lost the first battle 10 times in one stream. Fuck you, Bill. Yeah, it was multiple months for me to beat the Nuzlocke.
Yeah.
What's my least favorite Pokemon after this series that's not on my team? Oh, God. Probably Chansey.
Yeah.
Fucking Chansey. Who else did I say I hated? There's another Pokemon.
So,
I would say Chansey, dude.
do you hate Chansey because of what you had to do for XP?
Yeah.
You want to tell them about your XP battle to get ready for the Elite Four?
Yeah. So literally, to level up my Pokemon, easily, to like take them from level 20, 30, whatever it is, get my bugs ready to actually go fight the Elite Four to make it as clean as possible. You can do in Let's Go, it's called catch combos, where you can catch the same Pokemon over and over and over and over and over, and it will give you more and more XP. Chansey's the highest yielding one in Let's Go. One of the hardest drop rates and hardest catch rates, so it makes sense. Problem is that my Joy-Cons, like I said earlier, are fucked up. And there's a method, though, that I found online where if you use the Joy-Con grip and put them together, you can add the player 2, which will double a multiplier. So, like, it is possible to get, like, 40,000 XP from a Chansey. I probably spent 8 hours.
A good amount of time.
Maybe...
I
would say 15 hours total if you include the rare candies. I spent 3 hours trying to do the rare candy glitch in the game, which is terrible. I'm not even going to explain it. And then I realized that, I could do the Chansey catch combos. And to get the 40,000, you have to catch it with the first try. It's impossible. He watched me. He watched me the other day. I did it. How long did I do it for? An hour and a half?
Hour and a half.
I caught one out of, 45? I caught one.
Yeah.
Single one first try. And every time, they do this stupid fucking animation. And it jumps. It goes like this, and it jumps, and then it lets you throw a ball. And I throw a ball, and right before the ball hits, it does this little smack, and it smacks it away. And I'm like, dude, holy shit. It kept doing it. I hate Chansey. I have a lot of questions, so I'm going to move off the rant here. What bug mega Pokemon do I want in ZA? From my team, of all things that I think... Of everything that I think deserves a fucking gee. Just messing my green screen up. Of all the bugs like on my team, I think it's particularly interesting like why they went Beedrill over Butterfree. Like Butterfree got Gigantamax. Why did they do Scyther over Pinsir, or sorry, Pinsir over Scyther for Mega? So any of the bugs on my team, I would say I would want any of it. Any of the Gen 1 leftovers, besides Parasect. Nobody wants to see Mega Parasect. That would just be weird.
You might have like 50 eyes, who knows?
Are there any exceptions when building bug team? Would Pokemon who are bug Pokemon but not bug type be fair, like Gligar and Flygon, who are in the bug egg group? I solely operate, and I think we've stuck to the rule solely that if it is not a bug type, it cannot be on Rick's team.
So,
and that will not change.
Yeah, so that's the reason why Hitmonlee is
left at the game corner to perish.
At the game corner.
That's why Psyduck is a...
We also just generally thought it was funny. Episode 9 obviously got marked for kids, so we lost the comments there. But in the comments section, we had a vote system. So you guys got to like for Hitmonlee or like for Hitmonchan, and that decided which Pokemon we picked up, right? So keep that in mind. Keep that dialogue option in mind as some of these episodes come out, because there's a funny joke referencing that. But yeah, we were like, we shouldn't ever use another Pokemon type in battle, because it feels disingenuous to what Bugcatcher Rick is. The only thing is like, for we couldn't have another travel issue getting back to the mainland from the fire gym. That's why he gets Psyduck. Psyduck's also kind of a meme to us.
Yeah. Well, we originally were gonna redo the Weedle Raft, but like we were like, let's make something more funny. And then it also allowed to open up the door for the Ditto joke.
Yes.
Which will also, be important. So it's like that's really why. Does anyone in the Pokemon universe like Bugcatcher Rick? I mean, Axel's they're kind of homies at this point.
They're like, but like they're not like,
they were friendly.
They're not like, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
They're talking shit. I think
they're frenemies.
I think it's fun for Pokemon trainers to be like talking back and forth to each other the way they do, but they're not outright enemies.
Is Hitmonlee gonna crash the champion battle and slam the champion's Pidgeot with a slot machine? No,
that is not happening.
Yeah, unfortunately, no. That is kind of funny, but no, we're Hitmonlee is Hitmonlee. He's doing his own thing. So.
Yeah.
But yeah. Any more questions, guys? Any more questions? I just saw a couple things pop up. Enemies to lovers. A lot of people have been theorizing that Rick and Axel are enemies to lovers. They're shipping them in that way.
Which to me, that's crazy, because it's you. It's like
I do love
shipping
myself.
You with yourself.
I love myself.
Like as far as like a ship goes, that's
awesome.
Funny.
I think
but
it's cool. No, absolutely not. Oh my favorite fucker. Oh my god, it's the Bugcatcher Rick.
Yeah, that's him.
That's me. Welcome. Do you have any questions you'd want to ask? Because we're at the end. We're saving our last question here, and we're trying to give people more opportunities to ask things that they might want to know. Will Metapod evolve in the final battle?
No.
No.
He has an Everstone. No.
He does have an Everstone.
Is what it is, but just watch the final. We'll see what happens.
Yep. Just no further comment, dude. No further comment. I'm not spoiling anything for you guys just because you were here. Would be a fun episode if you got Team Rocket disguised and infiltrated their base with Beedrill.
Show them the picture.
Should I? Yeah.
So this will be a post coming out soon. It's part of one of the spin-offs, okay? It's not going to necessarily be directly in the Bugcatcher series, although there will be potentially one episode where he shows up. He's going to show you the picture. It's the newest outfit of the channel.
This is not Bugcatcher Rick. This is a different character. But because Lucimo asked, this shit's pretty fire. He got that shit on, bro.
So this will be for a spin-off series, just to like kind of round out different Pokemon like content we want to make. Obviously, these are gonna be interspersed. We've written some of the scripts, but we haven't set any like dates for filming these things. So
it's pretty funny though, and if you guys watch the streams a lot, you're gonna love who my Pokemon is.
Yep.
Will you make Mega Metapod a thing? Once again, watch the finale when it comes out. It's technically projected 2 months out from now.
Yep.
So 2 months out from yesterday is when the finale will drop, because we have literally that many episodes left. There's 8 more episodes.
Yeah, so like, I mean, it's just the rest of Elite Four and
the finale. So it's just look out for it. You'll know when the finale drops. We'll make a banger. Somebody asked, when is the next episode? That comes out Friday.
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
So the 11th, I think it drops 3 p.m. for everybody.
Yeah.
It will be out for members sooner than that. Members on the channel get early access to different content. So we also have some members-only content too.
Christian asks, what's the total playtime of the series? I mean, shit. The playtime is a hard thing to calculate.
I mean, if you count XP grind, you count all the different shots, like
all the
moving
recording
around
in the game, I would say at least 50 hours.
It's
at
a lot.
very least.
It's a lot, guys.
I mean, just to get through, yeah, I would say it's at least 50 hours.
Because like we get what we call B-roll shots from battles, and essentially to do that you have to just like be spaced out, right? And the game starts doing like some of the cinematic shots around, so like those are some of the shots.
Good
Those
example.
take time.
The slow, like in order to get the slow bro shot, where it's like slow bro and it's like showing all these zooming, panning angles. Like we're not 3D animators. That's all from the game's camera.
Yep.
But I have to sit there and make sure it's the right Pokemon fighting him, and then it's the right Pokemon we want to record.
Yep.
And then just watch the fucking like cinematic shots like it's One Piece, a One Piece anime
for like
episode where
for
it's
a minute,
showing
right?
the different angles and all this nonsense for like at least a minute.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it already takes a while to even get there. I had to fight Lorelei like 100 times. So like, there's like a lot of.
And it's not including any like reruns of battles. It's not including any travel time between. And like, I mean, even just like something like the fly animation in the game, it's slow, man. You're talking about like 20 seconds to fly to somewhere in the game.
It takes a while. Is my dog a bug type? No, busy here. She is not a bug type. She's a
hog.
She's a hoggy. I call
She's a
her
big hog.
I call her my hog.
She actually kind of snorts like a hog, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, she makes snorting noises. She's a pit bull, so. It would be funny if there was a cup, like an influencer that told Rick about different bug trainers that knew a little bit more. And Rick tries to hook his mom up. I'm not hooking my mom up with anybody else, man. Will Bugcatcher Rick go to other regions? We're going to touch on that here at the end.
Yep.
And Let's Go, you have to catch at least 50 Pokemon species to enter Koga's gym. So what does Rick's Pokédex look like? Well,
that's interesting.
that is interesting. That's one thing that we were able to circumvent by having the game already beaten.
Mm-hmm.
His Pokédex looks like he has caught 2 million Pokemon, and a large proportion of that is Weedles. So imagine that as you will. Is there going to be a bloopers video with moves missing and stuff? Likely no.
There might be. It's not going to be a short though. It would be potentially this podcast style thing will become a video. I don't know if it will.
And we can add some stuff in. Really, it's like the problem is we delete all that stuff. Like I record it on my I use my phone is how I record everything, which is kind of crazy for the green screens. And because it's so many recordings, like it might be like 40 recordings for an episode that I have to go through and edit. I delete all the bad takes so that way I can send them to him as fast as possible and upload them to where we upload. So it's like we don't have many bloopers. We got a couple.
There are some that are funny. Go ahead.
We got a couple from filming this week, which are pretty funny.
Yes.
That like I really enjoy, but they are spoilers, so we can't really go over them.
But there are some that filter through and like honestly sometimes I use it, right? Sometimes like what is recorded is just funny like that. Not like an outright blooper, but the easiest one in my mind is once again the Pokédex voice that he does that I just thought was so funny. And the other part is I didn't want to record that line. So I just used his, and I mean it was just funny to a point. I was like, I don't need to do anything for this.
Yeah. Bellissimo, would you ever make a silly episode of Metapod going into Pokemon talent competition? Are you talking like the Gen 3? The Gen 3 like competition or what? I mean that would be funny, but we
I don't know if there's enough there or not.
There could be. There's a lot. That's actually a good idea.
But one of the other things we talked about earlier, I don't know if you guys were around for it, was holiday specials.
Yeah.
That was a idea brought up to us, so...
And we will be making a Pokemon holiday, a Bugcatcher Rick holiday special for this Christmas.
Yeah, potentially Christmas, potentially Thanksgiving, whatever. Maybe New Year's, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Whatever we want to come up with, but I think that would be funny. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from Bugcatcher Rick. This is gonna be hard. I don't know.
It's the hardest time of the year.
It's the hardest time of the year. So is your dog a normal type? No, she's fat. You should do a hardcore Nuzlocke in Pokemon. Any game. Hopefully, let's go. Will you play as Bugcatcher Rick? I also, we mentioned that earlier. I will be doing a Nuzlocke in Fire Red, where I'll be playing as Bugcatcher Rick. So that will be like another all-day stream-a-thon event where I'm, suffering through another 10-hour playthrough. But it was particularly suffering on that one. I don't think I mean, it would be very difficult to actually win that Nuzlocke.
Nuzlocke, where once the thing dies, it's done. Yeah, you're not making it through that.
Blaine is gonna fuck me up.
Yeah, I mean you have to literally one tap everybody. That's closer to a Kaizo Ironmon than a Nuzlocke.
I can't overlevel. Right? Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna try it at the very least, and I might just rerun. I might have to make some exceptions, but we'll see. Make Metapod the star on top of the tree would be amazing.
Yeah.
Dude,
we'll have to write some of these things down for sure.
Bugcatcher Rick, like a holiday special, is like we have to do a song. We have to do a song.
I think it would have to be a song in there as well.
All right, I watched the first Fire Red. You're screwed with bugs only. I'm looking forward to it. Why? Okay, I grew significantly as a Nuzlocker though in that stream. I ended up with a peak team and whooped ass, dude.
So I think
we were whooping ass.
I think for that run as Bugcatcher Rick, like just doing a bug run, you don't have to win. You can just do it for fun and just see how far you make it.
It's true.
So
I mean, the problem is though is that I can't get Pinsir because it's Fire Red.
Yeah.
So do I play Leaf Green then?
I don't know. Can you get Beedrill and some of the other ones?
You can get all of them. It's fine. It's just
I would go Leaf Green then.
Yeah. Fuck. I don't know. I'll figure that out later.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Any more questions?
2 more questions from you guys, max, and then we're getting into the final couple that we have here.
You almost died by Misty, though? A lot of people almost died by Misty. That's a bullshit gym. That's one of the harder ones. Like, legitimately.
Just because of, like, the...
Just Starmie, dude.
Starmie?
Yeah, Starmie's bullshit, man. It's just unfortunate.
But you clutched it.
Of course I clutched it. So that's how we do.
Venusaur at the time.
Ivysaur
at the time.
The sleep powder 5%, dude.
Yeah.
That shit was fire. Any more questions, fellas, before we, everyone, I should say. Always default to fellas.
If you guys don't have any more, we'll get into the final questions.
Make my Pikachu the tree topper, the strings wheels. That's actually so funny. But no, go ahead, Naz.
Okay. So this is the question everybody's been waiting for. Rick, will you go to other regions?
And the answer to that is not right now.
Yeah.
It is not a no, but it is not a... The next series that we do is Bugcatcher Rick goes to Johto, for example.
And part of the reason for that is...
Majority...
The games, correct?
It's a 2-part reason. One is that there's only so many games that exist within a 3D space that we could actually film in. All of the new open world ones, like Galar, Paldea, those are good. Maybe Alola, maybe. I don't think so though, because it's on the DS, so the quality upscaling up to my computer is gonna be ass. So like Sword and Shield is probably like the region that would make the most sense, to be honest, because it's the first game. It has Metapod. That would be the only one that right now could make sense. ZA is like people always say, but we don't know yet how that game exactly works, who's going to be in it. Mm-hmm. It's not traditional battling. You run around like a roguelite, so it's as of right now...
It depends on just what they put into the games and what we can use.
Really. Yeah.
Because, like, if we have to fake too much stuff, it takes a lot of time to do it, and it just doesn't feel genuine to what the series could be.
Well, Matster says, older games with shitty quality. I mean, just think about it. Part of the reason that, I feel like people like Bugcatcher Rick is because look, I'm sitting here next to Koga, right? It adds a level of, realism. It makes it feel like it's almost an episode of this is kind of like an anime, in a way, right? Yeah. If I'm fucking in, Brilliant Diamond, where everybody's this small, they're all, short, shrunk down into mini people, and I'm just fucking standing there as a giant. It just it's just weird, you know. There's nothing that it has to be in realistic proportions.
That in art style, I mean, like, we could go into one of the like the classic like 16-bit, 32-bit games, but like as far as like our abilities and like what makes us funny, you don't get some like the crazy reactions. You don't get like the actual acting that he does.
Yeah.
For those things that make it funny, like how he would say things, how he would move. It'd be very, very dependent upon a artist to make pixel sprite art for us to be able to use that would be custom for different things. Not saying it's impossible, but I think that would really, really challenge us to be able to do, and I don't know if we would pull it off in the way that we're able to do what we're currently doing.
Yeah, it's just not feasible for a majority of places. The second part to why the answer is no, but not indefinite no, for Bugcatcher Rick as the second season, is what we brought up before. We're gonna pivot to something else. We're gonna like reinvigorate our creative juices, and that sounds sus as fuck.
Just your mind.
Just
right?
get hype, right? It's like get hype about a new series. We want to make a new movie. This is the Bugcatcher Rick movie.
Yeah.
We're gonna pivot to make our new movie. It doesn't mean immediately, right? But we are pivoting to make a new movie that's not Pokemon, because we're not just a Pokemon channel.
Yeah.
We're gaming,
in the
comedy.
meantime, like we're gonna have some different games.
Some Pokemon spin-offs that are short.
Do we want to talk about like what the next big movie game is? I know we've hinted, but I don't know if
we can on 3.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Boy Kisser.
Minecraft. It's gonna be in Minecraft. We have a Minecraft movie. Obviously, it's in the early stage of conception. We need to finish Bugcatcher Rick out. We're also not going to go directly into it. We're going to have some other different things. And we're going to have spin-offs for the Pokemon content. So if you like the Pokemon content, be on the lookout for that Team Rocket image that you saw. There's going to be some Pokemon content that comes out on the channel. Because like it's great to do. But if you think about it, if you put yourself in our shoes, we're thinking this is... we know it's 30 episodes. We've been doing this for 6 months already.
9 months.
We're talking about 9 months of a year being dedicated to Pokemon and Pokemon alone. And like, it's been a great time, right? But once it finishes, there's going to be like a feeling of like, what's next? And like, to refresh it, we're going to other games. So keep a lookout for some of the other different series that come out.
And the thing as well is that by pivoting to the Minecraft movie that we will eventually end up making, is that we've nailed a comedy style with Bugcatcher Rick.
Yeah.
It will be very familiar.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just now we have way more creative room within Minecraft. We can build things, make jokes, and like we want to do the same thing where it's like almost like every episode of Bugcatcher Rick, in a way, especially like after episode 10, is like its own standalone thing, right? It's like a unique thing. We copied or like we took reference from something, inspiration from this. Mm-hmm. They're all very different, although it's the same cohesive comedy style. It's different. So like
so the comedy's not going to change, right? Like it's just going to be different characters, different jokes, because like the games are different. So
like Rick, like there will be a new lovable character, I think, like Rick, in a very interesting story that we're putting together. One that we are going to conceptualize before we start it, which is what we failed to do with Rick.
But I mean,
but it came out.
So part of the reason why we didn't necessarily have to do that is the path in Pokemon was set for us.
Hi, Pizza Man.
We're taking on potentially a new challenge. Yes, there is like a basic path to Minecraft as well, but it's not nearly as regimented. You know?
Hello, Blue Fox. So it's exciting for us, but we will dip our feet into some other games. I'm just gonna bring it up because I think it's really funny. We have a very small Animal Crossing series planned. Yes. It's not gonna be a movie. It might be like at max 5.
Yeah.
Like maybe 5, but we
depends
have
on looking through what's available in the game.
We have a very funny Animal Crossing. Once again, it'll be very similar to Bugcatcher Rick comedy. It's just I'm gonna be in an Animal Crossing world, and the outfit I'm wearing is fucking ridiculously funny.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna spoil it because I want the first time anybody sees me in that outfit to be when that video goes live.
Yeah.
You know, and it's still, we think we figured out the hook of like I'm villager blank, yeah, and I'm gonna do this. So that way it'll be like that. You know, I'm Minecraft miner, whatever, and I'm gonna fucking run my shop. I don't know, whatever it is. I'm gonna kill every cow in the thing. Like that stuff's already laid out for us. So we've created a format that we will just translate to other games, other mediums, and get hype exploring and learning about all that. Like he's the Minecraft guy. He's the Minecraft guy. I'm not as much. I like Minecraft, but like he knows. I mean, my Pokemon knowledge is his Minecraft knowledge. Like bro's bro's a Redstone.
I would agree with that.
Bro's a Redstone nerd. So like we get a lot of cool shit from his knowledge over there.
Yeah, I mean it's just different things in the game, but like I haven't kept up with Minecraft in a little bit. But I mean, there's just classic stuff that everybody knows. So we're gonna get into it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It might take some time before you see the first episode for that, but when you see it, I think the premise is very interesting. I don't think we've ever seen anybody take the angle we're taking, although like people have done similar things.
Yeah.
Just I think ours is once again going to be very unique, and it's just going to be a lot of fun to do. It's going to be something different. But yeah, the Animal Crossing one, that idea came up within the past week or two, and I mean we were dying laughing just like thinking about what it could entail. The hook on that is very, very different. It's more of a comedic hook, I will say, but it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Blue Fox asks, I have an idea. Make a series about Cobblemon. Isn't that, or is it Pixelmon what we play?
Cobblemon is
the same as Pixelmon, but just different.
Yes, I think it's one of the mod packs for Pokemon in Minecraft.
That is an actual funny idea, but once again, no, we're just stepping away from Pokemon.
Just a little bit.
For like, yeah, Rick's story will be on hold. Is all we're saying.
Now, it's interesting that we bring up like Cobblemon or Pixelmon because like there are some shorts like way further back where like
we use that stuff.
I used screen recordings from Pixelmon. The short in particular is, can you beat like a Magikarp in a fight? Right, like everybody thinks Magikarp is like literally you fighting a Magikarp, a person fighting a Magikarp, and I think it's funny because we put you into like the Minecraft Pixelmon world, like just with him. It's just silly.
Professor, I'm not answering your question. Anyways, chat. Any last minute burning questions? Because we let that cat out of the bag about the Minecraft series. So, any last minute burning questions? Overall, this was fun. I mean, we planned to do this for a while. We knew that my Snugs was coming out for a week to spend, so we could really grind, do like a workshop, and really focus on nailing out the end of the series and getting the channel just caught back up, and our vision for where we want to go. So we think this is like an opportunity we don't get because we live across the country from each other.
Yeah, like the next time that you see us both on camera for a stream, like. It had been multiple years since I've been on a stream. Like, probably Twitch was the last one I was on. I don't think I've been on physically in a YouTube stream since then.
Interesting points here. Why does Chansey look like that? Fuck, Chansey. Secondly, can you do a series based on Raft? I have been waiting, and we've had planned and theorized, conceptualized a Raft stream event. If you guys don't watch the streams that often, I do a lot of big events. That I can do with my budget. I'm not like fucking Ludwig. I can't rent out an arena, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Like here, like running a game show. I try to do stuff like that. Running a trivia event for you guys where there's winners. For the Raft stream, the idea was that I'm gonna take my friend group of about 8 boys, put them in a Discord, have them essentially play the TV show Survivor, where they're trying to do challenges to stay on the island, and if they fail, they get kicked off.
But instead of on the island, it's on the raft.
And we're using raft gameplay, where I'm the host, and we're going to be talking with them, and like they'll split into teams and all that kind of stuff, and like separated in the Discord. I'll be able to move in and out, interview them and stuff, all within Raft.
Yep.
It will be a very interactive stream where chat at the end of every day or every challenge, chat gets to vote out one of the crewmates. So you could vote out McSnugs here on the first day, right?
Yeah.
And then like that, and then the guy at the end would be the winner.
Yeah.
So that's our Raft stream idea.
But it's not to say that we couldn't do a series in Raft, because like I think it could be interesting. The comedy there could be a lot of fun. The game is very unique. I mean, you're like pretty much stranded out at sea for a lot of it. But it does have a storyline we could potentially follow. I just don't know.
It's the appeal. It's like we need until we are million channel subscribers, if we ever get there. But like until we're a million subscriber channel, we have to cast a wider net.
Yeah.
To capture as many people that like, oh, I see Minecraft, that's awesome. There's not as many Raft fans as Pokemon or Minecraft or.
It's not to say that there's not like a dedicated fan base to the game itself, because like there 100% is.
No, it's just that net's smaller.
Yeah, it's just we're trying to do things that help the channel grow in a rapid fashion, right? Like that's obviously like the goal is we want to keep growing the channel, and I think one day we probably would make Raft content, right? Like it would just be fun to do.
Pizza Man asks, if you were to do another series about Pokemon, what perspective would it be and from what generation? We touched on this earlier. Team Rocket, it's in the works. Be looking out for it. It'll be not until the end of Bugcatcher Rick, but it's not a series. It's just like a little spin-off shorts episodes. So there's that. Opinion on WD-40, that shit's gas. I put that shit on my Metapod. Make it into Bear Grylls. That's funny. When I hit 1 million, are you going to... God damn it, Clayton. Clayton's fucking wife. No. All right? No. Just don't even talk about that shit
Guys,
around
it's a
here.
long way to 1 million. We need to hit
That's
100K
not what,
first. Yikes.
Yeah.
Major yikes.
So...
We might time you after that.
Yeah, we don't really mess around with that kind of stuff within the channel or in the Discord, so...
No.
We're very... We tend not to be like a high horse, but we take our ethical stances pretty
you guys
heavily.
You guys do not know us, right? You like our content. We do not know you. There's no parasocial relationships here. We will never DM you on fucking Discord. You know, that stuff is just there so that we're able to put information out and you guys can find content easy or discuss amongst yourselves like different things and make it more of a community feel.
What if we make it a series about Spore? Personally, this is just a little bit of Scalo lore. I grew up with a very horrible PC. Spore, back in the day, I think I was like in 3rd, 4th grade when Spore came out. My dad somehow like found out about it, showed us like a video on TV or some shit. My sisters really wanted it. Oh, we can have these monsters, whatever. My dad bought Spore at Best Buy. I specifically remember loading it up, and it was running at literally -1 FPS, and we could do nothing with it. The game just bricked the computer. Like, I had like an old-ass freaking like running Windows Vista computer, so I vowed to never play Spore again in my life. So, unfortunately, no.
This reminds me of the WoW story.
Moving on. The WoW story. Also, World of Warcraft did that as well.
One frame a second.
There's a lot of Ultraco fans. Bill, you gotta get off it, man.
So,
I'll play it eventually.
Yeah, we will play it at some point, Bill. We just need to get around to doing it.
Pikmin could be funny, but we already have a couple shorts on Pikmin, but I couldn't do a full series on Pikmin. Will there be Wormpull? There will not be Wormpull because he starts in Hoenn, and Rick cannot go to Hoenn because they be Hoenn with them graphics over there because they got only 2D, man. I need some 3D.
Come on, man.
Caterpie Jockey? Chicken Jockey. Caterpie Jockey is crazy. But,
all right, guys, get your final questions in.
Yeah, last round of questions, okay? Last round.
We're gonna do max. How many?
3.
Max 3 questions.
3.
Last 3. Then we're done.
Yep. Then I'm gonna go Caterpie Jockey. Chicken Jockey.
Chicken Jockey. Yeah.
Schedule 1 playthrough. Isn't that the fucking weed selling game that Mark and them play?
Yeah.
I'm good, dude. I don't. This is my personal opinion. simulator games are just a waste of your human existence on this planet. That's my hard stance. If it's fun and that's how you want to spend your time, that's good. But for me, why am I playing simulating a game where I'm fucking washing a car or cutting grass?
So I think
that's just my hard stance.
I think similar games where you do things illegal, like GTA, I could fall into a simulator. Obviously,
but it doesn't.
Obviously, it has campaign and things, but like the open world part of it is.
But it doesn't. It's a storyline, a narrative story piece that you're learning about, and you're growing with characters.
Okay.
This is.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to work.
We're not gonna argue this. We're gonna.
I'm pissed about this one.
Schedule 1, simulator game. It's a simulator game where you do illegal things that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do in real life. I think it's also why like people like certain things. Like some people will never afford nice cars, so they like racing games.
That's a good point. That is a good point. It's also relaxing, low key.
Yeah. So like, there's a time and place for them. I don't think either of us really play too many simulator games, but
No.
there is an appeal that I would be like, I'm gonna disagree with you. Like, it's not fully a waste of time if you have fun with it. You have fun with it.
That's my hater hot take. So I mean, I just stand on it.
Yeah.
Now, will you give Metapod a Kakuna girlfriend? That's actually really cute. And no comment, but like it's really cute. Just to get Metapod some women after he.
Okay, maybe that would be the only time in his life he couldn't get hard. Like Kakuna's so beautiful to him that he's just like.
Where's Kakuna? What do you mean you couldn't get it hard? What do you mean you can't get hard? If the Minecraft series pops off, would you make a Minecraft server? Oh, okay. I'm gonna read Corrigan's after this actually, because
most likely no.
No, most likely no. Not. I will never engage as a creator in any form of like video game. I think where like we can.
There's a dedicated server.
There's a dedicated server and interactions possible between like it's just not good. It's not good to do that. Like I do play like Mario Kart with people because that's like different.
Or like Roblox, but it's on public servers, right? Like we don't want to have people have too personal of a relationship where they develop like
parasocial.
Yeah, parasocial relationship, and it's just we just want to make funny stuff. If you guys enjoy that funny stuff, that is great. Yeah, right. That's what it boils down to.
That's the purpose. Isn't Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire in 3D? Yes, but it's on the DS and it looks like ass. So that's just the answer. That's why it doesn't work. But boys and gals and Pokemon trainers and everybody, and my doggy right here who's been chilling with us. Guys, that was the Bugcatcher Rick Q&A.
We hope you guys enjoyed the sort of behind the scenes look at some of the things. Obviously, like we're gonna turn this into a video, I believe, where we're gonna
maybe
potentially show some of the different things. Yeah, we appreciate you guys asking questions, and we put a lot of effort into this series. We're glad that you guys enjoy it. Reading comments week in, week out it's a good time.
I'll be going to the bathroom at work on the toilet giggling. I'm like just sitting there like refreshing. I'm like, hell yeah, dude, you got some new comments. I'm looking.
Yeah.
It's fun, dude. I'm always looking like all the time. I go and I scroll, and I think of any YouTuber I've ever seen, we heart and comment
on a lot of stuff.
A significantly higher basis than any channel. We reply to so much shit.
Yeah.
I spend like a lot of my time, like free time, like when I'm out and not able to work on stuff, just like from just somewhere, you know. Yeah. Even at work, I'm like, fuck it, let's go.
And I'll be responding to things too. There are actually certain things that I leave for you to respond to, because I'm like, you're gonna fucking love to read this, you know.
Yeah.
And I just leave it for you because I know you're gonna look and potentially respond to it and heart the message. So.
Yeah. Bye, Bugcatcher Rick and Metapod. Bye, Professor, Corrigan, Matster, Bellissimo, Mackenzie, if you're still here, Pizza Man, Bill, everybody who's watching. Thank you all for being here.
Next episode, next Friday. Look for it.
It's going to be a banger. If you're a member, you get it early. So yeah, thank you all once again so much for all the support for the series and making YouTube one step closer to potentially being our full-time jobs, which is what we What's our end goal,
it would be cool to
Just
do it.
make silly videos for a living, man. That would
And you guys' views, comments, everything just helps us along the way. So
everything
we
helps.
appreciate you guys.
That's gonna go hard. All right, everybody.
We need to go.
We're gonna
end
go
the thing,
have
don't we?
dinner. You guys rock. Make my day as always. I have quite the big time difference from where I'm from, but I always make the time for you guys. May the Metapod be with you. Oh, thank you. That's a very
Thanks, bro.
sweet message.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Have a